issue that we were having at Unique is that we were generating more calls than we could sell. So that's a good issue, but not really, right? Because then now you're looking for buyers and fighting for cap and the whole 9 yards. So what we decided was like, how can we start partnering up with good operators and pretty much buy them out, correct? So what we did is we went after insurance companies. So first we started with auto insurance. So we found a really good operator that knew nothing about marketing, right? And the guy had pretty much the best contracts that you can get, Progressive, Geico, and so on, right? Then I spent a lot of time like understanding the behind the operations. So what's their day to day in their office? How are the agents selling policies? What softwares are they logging into? Pretty much observing everything that I could. Then I figure out that we can automate most of it and use AI to grow his agency. So the first thing that we notice is that you can get real time actual quotes for auto insurance. Most of you that ever ran auto before, you send them to a lead form, but at the end, the consumer never sees a price. They just start getting, calls and emails. But using a backend API, which is called Turbo Rater, you can integrate with them and, put all your credentials for all the different carriers, and then you can provide real-time quotes to the consumer, right? So what we did then is I told my team to start building a front end, a brand that people can go to, put their information, and give them a real quote. So they can just click and bind after that, right? So that's exactly what we did. And we developed milaquotes.com, where consumers can go. They can put in all the info, they get a real quote, they can bind after that, and then the operator, which is now partners with us, can answer that call and bind that policy. What we saw was like growing faster with less agents because most of the work is done by the consumer, filling out the information online, and being able to do it much better at a lower acquisition cost. So instead of us running auto insurance offers and getting paid, I don't know, 12, 14, 16 bucks per, form fill, we just brought it in house. Use our website, we give you the quote, and if you like it, go ahead and bind with our agents. So it's like, okay, if we can do that with auto, what else can we do, right? What else can we do so we don't have to be on the hunt for a cap? It really bothers me that I have to like beg somebody to give me cap, so I can run an offer. It just rubs me the wrong way. So I'm like, okay, what if we start building infrastructure? So we did it with auto, then we was like, okay, let's start doing it with health. The same thing, operator, learn their business, build out a complete funnel. Now, when we generate calls, we have first priority in these calls, and then all of our other buyers, which we still operate in the pay-per-call business, will get those calls. So now we're kind of like less dependent in trying to find, budget out there. After health, we said, hey, we can do the same thing with life. So again, learn the whole business, set up the infrastructure, and start selling final expense, which I don't know if you guys ever ran it, but it's pretty simple to run and very scalable. So the point that I'm trying to make here, without slide or without any presentation, is that you have to look beyond the offer that you want to run. You have to look beyond, just a single transaction of I generate a call, a lead, I sell it, that's it, end of the day, right? Because that's not gonna, I mean, it's great money, don't get me wrong, but that shouldn't be your end goal. I believe that the end goal is that if you're really good at media buying and if you're really good at generating traffic, you should be somehow monetize that internally. And I'm not saying go out there and start your own insurance company or your own whatever service you're selling, but partner with great operators that they understand the business. They just don't understand, VO3 and media buying and the whole side of generating traffic, right? And when we shifted into that model, we saw our revenue start increasing, which is great, and our dependency in other um, buyers wasn't so much of an issue, right? And I don't know, I just think that to me, that's the way to go. Now, how can you do that with a small and lean team? First, I think using, AI will help you a lot. And two, I'm a big fan of no code, low code, right? So in order for us to start building all this user interfaces and system, we have to figure out a way that we can do it the best way possible. So we use Xano, which is Xano. Anybody uses Xano here? Nobody? You guys should. So you can control the whole backend, integrate pretty fast with pretty much all your other systems, and be able to ship something, put it in production faster than you would traditionally with a dev team. All respects to Kirill. But that's the way that we did it. Then what we figure out, we use for call tracking, we use Ringbot. We also use retrievers on other platforms. But we figure out that we need it also now. Okay, we handle the insurance side, opening everything. How can now we bring in more agents into our distribution, right? Because our agency can only handle so many calls. So, or the overflow, the rest of it, how can we make it easier for other companies, other agencies, independent agents to come in and start buying calls from us? Traditionally, they will have to talk to one or a business development person, and they will have to, have a meeting, fill out a form, go through contracts, set them up in our call tracking, start sending them calls. It's a manual process and it takes a lot of time. But the API is there to make it happen faster if you think outside of the box. So what we did is we built callers.io, which is a marketplace where the agents can just log in, fill out their wallet, and start buying calls from us on demand, right? So they can just cut down the time that it takes to set up with us, right? Now we can just provide them a link, be like, hey, come here, sign up, load up your wallet, which is prepaid. Who doesn't love prepaid here, right? So all the calls are now prepaid. So boom, they can start getting calls and the verticals that we're participating in, which is like auto, health, and life, right? And by doing that, it also, same thing, bringing faster people and kind of sustaining the operation that we have going internally as well. Because the overflow, we can sell it to them and we can actually expand as well. So that's pretty much what we've been up to for the last year and a half. It's finding good operators because we're pretty confident that we can bring in the traffic, right? So find a good operator and look beyond just sending you a call. Like, I don't want to have to explain to you what a buffer is and what's a qualified call and none of that. They're not interested in that. They just want to make more money, write more policies, book more appointments, and increase revenue. So figuring out ways to do that, if you already have the traffic, that will be like my advice for everyone here.